In Korea, there is an elite school called Muong High School, where children from wealthy and influential families receive their education. Behind the grandeur of this school, there is a student named Han Suk-kung, known for being arrogant as well as cruel. He often causes trouble, bullies, and humiliates other students he considers weaker. Strangely, the school seems to deliberately turn a blind eye. The staff and teachers ignore it because they are afraid of dealing with the powerful Suk-kung family. One of the most frequent victims is Go Jang. Almost every day, Suk-kung and his gang harass him, and worse, one of their acts was once recorded by a female student named Mi. In the midst of this situation, a new figure arrives, So-in, a trainee teacher newly assigned to Muong High School. She tries to be friendly, adapt, and carry out her job earnestly, hoping one day to get a recommendation to become a permanent teacher. One day, while in the school restroom, So-in accidentally overhears two senior teachers, Jae-gon and Hun, talking about the previous teacher who once occupied her desk. Out of curiosity, she searches the internet. To her shock, she learns that the teacher had died due to the pressure and bullying inflicted by the students at the school. What is even more surprising is that the other teachers consider such incidents to be normal. While walking in the hallway, So-in is suddenly called by a senior teacher named Jang Yong. In his office, Jang Yong reveals the dark side of Muong High School, including a video recording from last year showing Suk-kung and his gang bullying an old kimbap seller. Luckily, the grandmother's grandson, who happened to be Go Jang, came to her aid, although it only resulted in him becoming their next target. Since then, Go Jang has always been the victim of Suk-kung and his gang, especially because he was able to attend the school through a scholarship and was considered poor by Suk-kung. So-in is shocked and furious, but Jang Yong advises her not to get involved. She can only nod, though she feels uneasy inside. That night, So-in is seen at a boxing gym. Apparently, besides teaching, she is also an instructor there. Shortly after, her friend Kwon Jong, now a police officer, comes to train with her. It is revealed that So-in was once a talented athlete in judo and taekwondo, and was even expected to win a gold medal in boxing. Unfortunately, her dream collapsed because her father, Young Tak, was heavily in debt, forcing So-in to give up her savings to save the gym from being seized. Thanks to her hard work over 10 years, the gym still survives. After training, she finds several animal masks in the gym. She is surprised, but Kwon Jong suspects the masks were collected by her father, who used to take them from the children training there. The next day at school, So-in continues to maintain a kind attitude toward everyone. Even when she finds some students smoking, she chooses to stay silent to preserve her image in hopes of receiving a permanent teacher recommendation. Meanwhile, Suk-kung and his gang disable the school CCTV cameras to harass Jang once again. So-in, who sees this, initially recalls Jang Yong's advice not to interfere. But when their actions go too far, she cannot hold back and steps in. At the same time, a student named Bon-in approaches her and warns that Suk-kung's family is extremely powerful. His father is the head of the prosecutor's office, his mother is a lawyer, and his uncle works in the police force. With such a background, Suk-kung is almost untouchable. So-in feels conflicted, but she has her own way. She pretends to receive a phone call and then approaches the scene where Suk-kung is about to kick Jang.
형 가자!
Calmly, she ends the situation by sending Jang back to class while apologizing to Suk-kung as if nothing had happened. This makes Suk-kung angry, as his plan failed. He grows suspicious and wonders who So-in really is. His friend Amin explains that So-in is the new teacher replacing the one who died because of their bullying. Hearing this, Suk-kung becomes furious and warns Amin never to speak of it again. Meanwhile, at night, a student named Byang Jin, who works part-time delivering fried chicken, is seen practicing boxing during his free time with a friend named Young Tak, who is actually So-in's father. The restaurant where he works is owned by Suk, who used to be a boxer. After a brief training session, Young Tak mocks himself by telling a story about a talented young boxer he once trained, whose career was ruined because of her father's mistakes. The next day, So-in meets Jang again. The boy explains that he had tried reporting to the school, but none of the teachers dared to act due to fear of Suk-kung's family. Even when he tried reporting to the police, nothing happened because the police would only act if there was solid evidence.
너도 이제 좀 편해.
Jang insists he does not want to transfer schools, he only wants Suk-kung to be punished. He pleads with So-in for help, leaving the trainee teacher in a dilemma. Meanwhile, Suk-kung's parents continue to maintain their son's image by sending food to the teachers, which makes most of them turn a blind eye to his behavior. That night, So-in is at home, still thinking about Jang's fate. Her memory flashes back to when she lost in the women's boxing final.
내 딸은 좀 전에 링에서 죽었어. 너 이제 내 딸 아니야.
At that time, her father, Young Tak, was furious and told her she should have won easily. Out of disappointment, he even said she was no longer his daughter, claiming his real daughter had died in the boxing ring. Returning to the present, during recess at school, So-in bravely confronts Suk-kung and his gang on the rooftop. She asks them to stop bullying other students. But Suk-kung becomes angry and warns her not to interfere if she does not want trouble. Afterward, the teachers receive a news notification from the education committee about a Muong High School student who had caused much suffering among students and teachers due to violence. The report shocks the teachers. Principal Ju is furious and wants to know who leaked the information. Shortly after, Suk-kung's stepmother and uncle storm into the school, enraged. None of the teachers dare to speak, until So-in steps forward and admits she was the one who reported the case to the committee. Ino then hits So-in on the head, but she stays silent, knowing she has no power against Suk-kung's family.
없는 기집애 같으니라고 굴러먹다 온 개뼈 따구 같은 당장 파면시켜요.
In the principal's office, Suk-kung asks Principal Ju what will happen to So-in. When Ju says she will be fired, Suk-kung kicks the principal's leg and says he will not allow it. Afraid of losing his position, Ju agrees to Suk-kung's demand. Outside school, So-in, frustrated, discusses the problem with Kwon Jong. But Kwon Jong explains the situation is complicated, as without solid evidence, Jong's report could be considered slander and could get him arrested. Hearing this, So-in feels even more frustrated. When she returns to her apartment, she sees her father picking up children after boxing practice. But So-in shows no joy, simply walking past him in silence despite his attempts to greet her. That night, while buying ramen at a convenience store, she encounters Suk-kung and his gang again. They taunt her, saying she cannot possibly fight them all.
씨발 기관장. 나 진짜 진심이야.
At that moment, So-in recalls Jang Yong's warning that fighting Suk-kung would only drag her into legal trouble, especially since his uncle could easily ruin her career as a trainee teacher. On her way home, still lost in thought, she accidentally bumps into a drunk man on the street. The man gets angry and hits her on the head. This triggers her fury, and she kicks the man until he faints. This incident strengthens her resolve to find a way to fight the injustice caused by Suk-kung. Meanwhile, Suk-kung and his gang are playing basketball. When another player accidentally bumps into him, Suk-kung flies into a rage and starts a fight. From a distance, So-in watches the scene. She then puts on a cat mask and attacks Suk-kung. Coincidentally, Byang Jin, while delivering fried chicken, sees the event from afar.
너 뭐냐? 뭘 보고 있는 거냐?
But suddenly, the police arrive and break up the fight, causing Suk-kung and his friends to flee. The next day, So-in feels satisfied for having taught Suk-kung a lesson. News of a masked cat figure daring to fight him spreads quickly across the school. Teachers and students see the masked figure as a hero. Suk-kung himself is enraged when he finds his desk covered in drawings of a cat mask made by the students. He angrily throws his desk aside and ignores class. Eventually, he decides to leave school with his friends. Still seething with anger, he drives recklessly, frightening his friends. So-in returns to the boxing gym, satisfied after confronting Suk-kung. But Kwon Jong, who knows she is the masked cat, warns her not to continue the act because there are still other ways to seek justice. Meanwhile, Suk Kung and his gang commit another cruel act. This time, they force Jong to walk down the stairs shirtless with a plastic bag covering his head. After reaching the ground floor, Jong runs in fear and ends up at the fried chicken restaurant where Byang Jin works. Sunik, the restaurant owner, is shocked by Jong's condition and quickly helps him. Panicked, Byang Jin rushes to the gym on his motorcycle to tell So-in. At that moment, So-in is about to throw away the cat mask, but Byang Jin suddenly arrives and tells her what Jong went through. He also reveals he knows she is the masked cat because he was the one who secretly called the police during the basketball fight. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, Jong, unable to bear the bullying anymore, grabs a knife and tries to attack Suk Kung. On the other hand, Suk Kung feels pleased when he learns Me recorded Jong being forced down the stairs. He even asks a friend to edit the video and upload it online. However, Me, disgusted with Suk Kung's behavior, chooses to leave. Not long after, So-in, wearing the cat mask, goes to a billiard hall and immediately engages in a fierce fight with Suk Kung. During the fight, Jong suddenly appears with a knife. Realizing Jong intends to hurt Suk Kung, So-in tries to stop him but ends up getting seriously injured by the knife. Losing a lot of blood, So-in is rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, her father, Young Tak, is extremely worried about her condition. When he sees the cat mask, he grows angry and decides to take revenge on Suk Kung. He wears the mask and challenges Suk Kung to a fight. Some time later, after feeling a little better, So-in asks Kwon Jong for permission to leave the hospital. She wants to protect Jong from further threats. As she leaves the ward, she is shocked to see her father sitting bruised and battered from fighting Suk Kung. This only fuels So-in's anger toward the troublemaking student. On the way home, her father apologizes for his past mistakes. He recalls when So-in competed in the National Olympic boxing selection. At that time, So-in almost won, but she deliberately held back her punches and lost. Young Tak was furious, but in fact, before the match, So-in had been approached by someone offering money to pay off her father's debt, on the condition that she lose the fight. Young Tak actually knew this, which is why he once saw her as a coward. But now, he realizes that her sacrifice was made for him, so he sincerely apologizes. So-in stays silent, holding back tears as she hears her father's apology. The next day, Suk Kung and Amun suspect that the masked cat is from their school. They check the arms of other students to find someone with an injury on the left arm but find nothing. Eventually, Suk Kung accidentally sees So-in's left arm, injured from a collision with another student. At that moment, he realizes she is the masked cat they have been searching for. Some time later, Suk Kung goes to the teacher's office and deliberately grabs So-in's injured arm. He asks why she saved him when Jong tried to stab him. So-in replies that she only wanted to protect Jong from legal trouble. Frustrated, Suk Kung almost strangles So-in by covering her head with plastic. But he changes his mind when he sees a brochure about a boxing match at the school festival. He decides to challenge So-in to a fight in front of all the students and teachers to humiliate her publicly. So-in has no choice but to accept, as if she refuses, Suk Kung will hand over the video of Jong attempting to stab him to the authorities. Some time later, Jong is seen on the school rooftop with the intention of ending his life. Fortunately, So-in arrives just in time and calms him down. She reminds him that his grandmother loves him dearly and begs him to hold on. Hearing this, Jong abandons his plan and cries in So-in's embrace. The day of the match arrives. News of the duel between Suk Kung and So-in has spread widely, but most people still do not know that the person behind the cat mask is the substitute teacher. Byang Jin even distributes cat masks to the students as a sign of support to overthrow Suk Kung's dominance. When the fight begins, Suk Kung uses all his martial arts skills to dominate the match. He even makes So-in's hair fall loose, shocking everyone as they discover the masked figure is a woman. Suk-kung continues to attack relentlessly. Revealing herself as the masked cat fighter. With blazing spirit, she finally knocks Suk-kung down. Forcing him to kneel before Zhang. So-in then demands Suk-kung apologize to Zhang. But Suk-kung stubbornly refuses. The film closes with So-in and Zhang finally reporting Suk-kung to the police. Shortly after, Mi also arrives with video evidence of Suk-kung's violence at the school. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.